Blessed be y'all, this is Jen Fremont. I would like to talk today about killing off a part of your true self, and also get into some brainwashing techniques that are used on people every day, whether it is in a religious situation, whether it's in the corporate world, whether it's advertising on TV, or a politician speaking. All of these things are used on people every day. They are also taught in things like neuro-linguistics programming, which is NLP courses, in things like sales courses. All of these techniques are discussed. They aren't labeled as brainwashing. They are labeled as something to convince people of your point of view. Let me start with something like politics. I'm going to start with politics. There is a very established pattern in political speeches where they will take 3 items that people will readily say yes to, 3 items that people will not say yes to, but they will agree with, and then propose a solution, which is usually electing that candidate, voting for that proposition, or something like that. An example of this would be something like how can I put this? I'll come back to that later. I know what I want to say, but I can't quite wrap my mind around it now. And these sorts of things. Another one is techniques for selling things. A salesman is taught that one of the first things that you do is figure out whether the person is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, that sort of thing. And this can be done very easily by you ask them a simple question and you see what direction they look. And I don't remember all the details of this. We did this in speech class many years ago. And I've also been through this. I've been through some sales courses and things, and they teach you that technique. And from that, you can start to ask them questions like, imagine if they turn out to be auditory, for example. You ask them, or you tell them, say you're selling a car, visualize yourself in this car and what your friends will say about it. When they start doing that, what they are doing is turning off the logical part of their brain. They are going into a different state. They are going into a more suggestible state of mind. And this is a very simple example of that, but it's done to you constantly. It's done in a 30-second format in commercials very often. They will do something like, see yourself in the new 2000 whatever, Lexus Supreme, whatever. See yourself in it. Hear the wind go through your hair or something like that. You know, it's getting you to turn off part of your brain. It's getting you to go into that state where you can be suggestible. This is used in churches. Most often it is used in a way that it starts off, like the music before the service. It has a very repetitive beat to it, around 45 beats per minute. And that in and of itself puts people into a trance. If you go into a service, you will notice that there are many people that once they get in there and they sit down, they just go into it. And they start swaying to the music and holding their hands up and that sort of stuff. Those people are in a trance. And then they will bring out singers. They will bring up the emotional level with singing, with the sermon, bring up the level of emotion, and eventually, at the end, it is, here is the solution. You must get saved now, or else you're going to hell. And the emotion, the fear, the shame, the anger sometimes, they will point at a group of people and say how they are doing evil. And you must get saved to be able to go and fight against this. All of these things are coercion. They are not actually giving you any truth. They are not giving you anything of real spiritual value. They are coercing you into something that you probably wouldn't do. The same thing is done in self-improvement courses. I've been through many self-improvement courses, and I didn't put it together until recently. It's the same uncomfortable feeling I have in those courses that I do in a church. They are telling me that I have a problem, and I must acknowledge that problem. I must embrace their system in some way. The self-improvement things are not about getting saved or anything, but they are about bringing you to a different way of thinking, and often that way of thinking means that you will go out and get more people to come to their things. You will become one of the true believers. And about, say, 10% of the people that go to those things will very easily become true believers. They will go out, they will twist the arms of their friends, and they will go up to strangers because they have become true believers in whatever that is. And those are the sorts of people that churches, any sort of self-improvement thing that is really selling something, that's the kind of thing they want, because that brings people in, that brings more money in. It is a sales technique. It is a way of selling you something. Selling other people something. It is all about making money. It is not about helping the individual. It is not about being your true self. Go to a site called Educate Yourself. I have been reading recently on there. I knew a lot of this stuff, but some of the things I've found on there put it down into a little bit more solid terms that I could actually be able to explain things and actually put it in my head. One of the reasons I haven't read up on a lot of this stuff is because it pisses me off. I don't like it. I don't like how we're surrounded by it, how we're bombarded by it day in and day out. One of the best things that you can do is turn off the TV. The commercials, the way the TV shows are cut up, the messages in the TV programming. They don't call it programming for nothing. I can't say that I don't watch some TV shows, and I refer to them as shows, but I am also quite selective about what I watch. And if I see something, if I watch an episode of something and it is just mindless, and I see all the political agenda and stuff like that, I'm not going to watch. I probably won't watch the whole episode if I start seeing that stuff. I will go find something else. If the first episode that I watch actually has something that resonates with me, I'll try another episode. But if the show takes a different turn, I'll turn it off. The television set is also made to entrance you. When the flicker rate of the TV was first settled on as a standard, the standard was settled on because of the trance effect that it induced on people. It has been something to entrance people and make them more suggestible from the beginning. I have noticed that most of the people that have broken away from a lot of the conventional thought, they don't even own a TV. I don't own a TV. The only time I see commercial programming is when I'm, sitting someplace that happens to have it on. And a lot of times I will sit where I don't have to see it or hear it, because it is very distracting. It is, I see stuff on there and I'm like, what the hell? What is this garbage? And the commercials are, especially, it's not as bad with the commercials if it's turned down, but the bombastic music that just jars you. And especially if you, try to watch a program on commercial TV, it's cut every 5-10 minutes, something like that. And it slams you with commercials, and they're quite often much louder than the TV programming content, which is actually illegal, but nobody seems to enforce that stuff. They're supposed to make the average level the same, but that doesn't seem to be enforced anymore. These are some of the things that I have been thinking about lately, and I hope you'll go check out Educate Yourself. Check out Born Again Brainwashing is the link there. There's some of the stuff on there that is obviously written from a fundamentalist Christian point of view on the links down below that I just go, yeah, whatever. So, but a lot of the stuff is true. It's like everything else. You got to pick out the bits of gold and refine it. Not everything is going to be a rich source of information. That's all for now, folks. I hope this is helpful for you. Please go out. Don't take my word for any of this. Go out and research it for yourself. Blessed be y'all. This is Jen Fremont.